back again to My Name is Business, and our guests are Dr. Usama and Dr. Yusuf Abushady.
I think really there was certainly several development happened since 30 of June 2013. I see actually President Sisi is trying hard. He is trying really in a short period to go into a lot of projects to achieve something can be appreciated by the people, especially to find new jobs and new projects, new industry, new towns, new canals, Suez, and others. That certainly gives the impression really that the president is trying. Really. Now the question is whether really all the channels really he is trying will bring really a good outcome, especially related to the energy. I hope, but I have some fears actually that we are going too deep into using still the traditional fossil sources like the natural gas and solar and mazut, which we are imported already now started to import from outside, which cost a lot of money to Egypt. I see really that the new projects are concentrated on still on this type of fuel. We heard about Siemens project, which is 13,000 megawatt, which is almost half what we have now, which practically all with natural gas, all will be imported from outside. I strongly believe it is the time now for nuclear energy and renewable energy.
But was there something about Daba going on that's supposed to be
Yes.
With the Russians doing some work there?
Since almost close to 2 years, we are hearing about that.
Yeah.
In fact, the Daba is now under the control of the army. The army is preparing the site. We already did several protocol of understanding with Russia, with China, with others. But frankly speaking, we did not start yet. Till today, we didn't even submit a bid, which I think it's a big loss for Egypt. Nuclear energy can save huge amount of money. For example, Russia accepted to pay 85,000 of the budget of the first nuclear power plants, which is a very good deal, I would say. And Egypt will not pay anything till the start of operation of this reactor. 4 reactors could achieve over 10 to 15% of Egypt's electricity. I think with a very minimum cost of the fuel.
Yes.
Not comparable. If we say for 1,000 megawatt we need $1 million for the fossil fuel, we need 250 or less for uranium. So really we talk about quite a small amount of money for this type. Plus, of course, we need to continue for renewable energy, especially wind energy and solar energy. I believe with this way we can have a very strong future related to the energy.
So how do you see, economically speaking, the development? What should be done? What is being done that is not supposed to be done?
It's very hard to speak with on energy with Dr. Yossi being here, but from an economic perspective, nuclear energy is one of the most cost-efficient ways.
Okay, for the last couple of months you've been traveling and you assisted in different conferences. Would you please shed light on them?
I was in New York in attending the conference for review of nuclear proliferation treatment, NPT, which is held every 5 years. Actually, there was a major issue, 2 major issues in this conference. One related to the disarmament because the treatment, one of its main reason to have this treatment is to get rid fully from all nuclear weapons in the whole world. Till today, nothing happened except really the reduction of the total number from about 60,000 head to about 20,000, which is enough to destroy the world many times. So still the P5, which means the United States, Russia, United Kingdom, France, and China, are still reluctant, especially, of course, US and Russia, reluctant to reduce or to destroy completely. This year, because it is the 70th year for Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs, in New York came a very big group of Japanese, actually, headed by their foreign minister of Japan, and they make a lot of exposition, big propaganda, in order to convince this big state to put a date when everything, all the nuclear weapon will be eliminated. And of course, it didn't work. That's all the first one. The second one was the Middle East and the Egyptian proposal since ages of having nuclear weapon-free zone area from all nuclear weapon and even other weapons of mass destruction. And it was a proposal in the meeting really that a conference should be convened under the responsibility of the Secretary General of the United Nations, and that conference should held in 6 months or then became 9 months,
yes.
Even if one of the states in the Middle East didn't accept, mean Israel actually. And unfortunately, on the last hour of the conference, after 1 month of a lot of negotiation, discussion, the United States opposed to the Middle East resolution, and in fact, the representative of the United States attacked Egypt by name, which something really hurted me personally.
How did they attack Egypt? But was not this...
Because they mentioned the reason of the whole failure of the conference, because if America opposed the Middle East resolution, means automatically it opposed to all other resolutions,
yes.
not only the Middle East. So about 200 resolution or recommendation proposed, all gone, and the American put on the Egyptian soldiers the blame on Egypt. Why? Because they thought that he is not flexible, and they...
But wasn't this expected? There's always, you know, like doing something like that at the end. If something that has to do with Israel, then, you know, like it's expected that America was...
I expected actually with the initial proposal of Egypt, because the proposal would change it. Egypt was not, as she said, has a very hard-mind diplomacy. In fact, the Egyptians changed it slightly, step by step, for example, really to say all decisions should be taken by everyone, all states, not only by majority. And that was the main point to America attacked Egypt proposal, which was wrong, and it doesn't exist. I personally talked with the American and said, your reason for opposing this was not correct.
Has no grounds.
But unfortunately, we didn't reply adequately to the American accusation, and we somehow really paused such attack for unlogical reason, actually. But I felt really that insisting that Israel should sign the non-proliferation treaty and give up all its nuclear weapons is not a practical solution and will not happen. We do that since maybe 50 years, nothing happened. And I personally proposed another in the meeting, during the meeting, and I proposed that we go step by step to the possible action that we can achieve. There are several states like it, what I mentioned, and contacted me later. I'm not sure actually Israel will accept that, but we shall see.
We know what, you know, like generally what Israel would accept, you know, well, it always refuses anything that comes near its...
But this is different actually. This is not the same way. I am not asking them eliminate all nuclear weapons, sign the NPT as non-nuclear weapon state. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, no, give us a commitment that you will never attack any other countries in the region unless your state is destroyed. Do not make any nuclear explosion test. Do not make any new nuclear weapon additional to what you have, and then start to announce your nuclear facilities unknown to the whole world. Now, whether they accept that, not other state will accept that or not, I think still there is a mistrust between nuclear states or in Middle East countries. We see.
How was that received, your suggestion?
For the Egypt,
yeah.
I think by doubts that Israel will be committed to that. From the other side, Iran and Israel, these are the main three states or nuclear states, let's say. They think really it is something to be looked for. It was not refused. Again, I am not representing any official body. As you said, I'm a member of the Egyptian Council, but I'm not representing the government. And it is just my initiative to try to find a logistic solution, because I see really that solution every year we propose never achieved or will not be achieved actually in the near future.
And how do you see, you said that there might be an imminent signing of Iran to a deal.
Yeah. Yeah, Iran now looks really quite modest country. Looks like really, especially in few days they are very close to sign a final agreement for nuclear deal, especially with United States and the West. I believe strongly really that that deal is very important for the whole world and for the Middle East country.
What would they give up and what would they take in return to that?
They give up, I would say, simply 90% of their activities and ability to do. They accepted to frozen their nuclear activity and facilities for something between 10 to 20 or 25 years. They accept the verification and inspection more than anyone really can accept. They agreed to many items. It's a lot of items actually. With in favor to them, really, of course, remove the sanctions. The sanctions hurted very strongly Iran, I would say, especially last few years. Iran suffered, not the nuclear. What Obama told his people, and the sanctions didn't affect at all the nuclear facilities or nuclear program in Iran. In fact, they develop more and more, but it affects the people in Iran. So I am optimistic. I feel in 3 days, maybe or 4 days, it will be announced as a positive agreement. That's why you can see Iran may play a positive role soon, especially in this nuclear affair in the Middle East. The only thing that Iran needs to cover also the mistrust in the area, especially the Gulf states.
Okay, I see. Any comments?
We had to be practical.
Yes.
We suffered a lot, many governments in the past even, from this subsidiary to finance to the energy. We approach 120 million pounds per year just till last year. And that's huge actually. We cannot continue in this way. Then it was decided by the government, the new government really, to reduce this option, this support by on 5 years, I think, gradually, with protection to the people who has very low income.
Yeah.
That's a good decision. This year it was stopped actually. Okay, I know people will not be happy with it, but let's be practical here. We have a limited income. We cannot continue by paying all this huge amount of money in just support, and then after 2-3 years, from where we can bring that. So we have to be a little bit more practical. This card for this gas and the benzene, I think it was a good idea. We need to computerize everything to prevent really the black market. And we have a lot of ways of black market.
Well, summing up, the whole thing, how do you see the future from now? It's hard. Every day there is change, but, you know, like, thank you very much for being in the stock market. Bye for now.